Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to Rise Records. I'm Riley and this is the podcast where I delve into my favorite records and explain the stories behind them. Now today I'm talking about a record that's become almost mythic in its honesty, its heartbreak and its influence. None other than Joni Mitchell's 1971 masterpiece, Blue. This isn't just a classic album, it's the singer-songwriter record. A blueprint for emotional vulnerability in music. A touchstone for everyone from Taylor Swift to Phoebe Bridgers. It's been over 50 years and Blue still feels like a private diary accidentally left open. And yet, somehow it belongs to all of us. So, I'm going to unpack it. I'm going to look at where Joni was in her life when she made Blue, why it was such a radical emotional document at the time, and then I'm going to go track by track through every confession, every soaring melody, and every little musical twist of genius. So by 1970, Joni Mitchell was already a well-known songwriter. Artists like Judy Collins, Tom Rush, and Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young were covering her songs. She had a few successful records of her own, Song to a Seagull, Clouds, and Ladies of the Canyon. That last one gave us Big Yellow Taxi and Woodstock. But fame and success were starting to feel suffocating for her. Joni had become part of the Laurel Canyon scene, hanging out with David Crosby, Graham Nash, James Taylor, but she felt a kind of emptiness in all of it. In her words, she felt like a cellophane wrapper on a pack of cigarettes. Invisible. So she ran away. Literally. In 1970, she took off for Europe with just a dulcimer, a notebook, and a head full of heartbreak. She traveled through France, Spain, and Greece, meeting people, playing music, and writing songs that would become Blue. At the heart of this period was love and loss. Her breakup with Graham Nash, her new relationship with James Taylor, her reflections on motherhood and fame, all of it found its way onto this album. When Blue came out in June 1971, critics didn't quite know what to do with it. It was too personal and too raw. Joni herself later said, "There's hardly a dishonest note in the vocals. At that period in my life, I had no defenses." It's that defenselessness that makes Blue so powerful. It's not trying to impress you. It's not trying to be cool. It's a woman stripping away her persona, telling you exactly how it feels to love and lose and still want to believe in beauty. Musically, Blue is sparse, mostly piano, guitar, and dulcimer, but Joni's tunings and chord choices make it shimmer. Her open tunings give every song this floating, dreamlike quality, as if she's making the instruments sing with her. Alright, let's get into the tracks. So the album opens not with heartbreak, but with desire. All I Want is a restless song. She's traveling through Europe, missing her lover, wanting peace and connection. She sings, "I am on a lonely road and I am traveling, 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 looking for something, what can it be?" That repetition of traveling sets the tone here. This is a journey album, both physical and emotional. The dulcimer gives it that delicate medieval feel, but her voice is urgent and alive. She lists everything she wants. To knit him a sweater, to write him a love letter, to make him feel free, and yet she knows freedom and love are always at odds in her life. That tension between independence and intimacy is what Blue is all about. My Old Man feels like the sun coming up after the wandering of All I Want. It's a love song for Graham Nash, sweet but complicated. She sings, "He's my sunshine in the morning, he's my fireworks at the end of the day, but then we don't need no piece of paper from the city hall keeping us tied and true." That line was radical in 1971, rejecting marriage, rejecting traditions. But as she sings about life with her old man, you can hear the cracks. She loves him, but she's already pulling away. Little Green is the album's hidden heart, a song she wrote years earlier about the daughter she gave up for adoption when she was 21. She never talked about this publicly until decades later, but in Blue, she let it live in plain sight. Child with a child pretending, weary of the lies you are sending home. It's hauntingly beautiful, full of imagery about spring, rebirth, and regret. She calls her daughter Little Green, born on the Christmases you bring. Even without knowing the backstory, you can feel the ache. This is one of those songs that shows why Blue is timeless. Joni takes a deeply personal wound and turns it into universal poetry. Carey is playful and almost mischievous. inspired by a real person, Carrie Raditz, a chef and free spirit she met in a cave-dwelling community on the island of Matila, Crete. "Oh, you're a mean old daddy, but I like you," she sings. It's Joni's travel journal in song form, carefree, dancing, full of strange little details about bars and beaches and blue jeans. She sings about wanting to go home, but not quite ready to leave the adventure behind. And then, the title track. Blue is the emotional center of the record. It's slow, fragile, and almost painfully intimate. "You know I've been to sea before, crown it, anchor me, or let me sail away," she sings. Her voice wavers, like she's trying to hold it together, but can't. This song isn't just about sadness, it's about depth. The kind of emotional ocean that artists swim in when they feel everything a little bit too much. She once said that blue was about being so transparent that you'll see through, and that's exactly what this song feels like. Written while she was traveling, California is Joni dreaming of coming home, but not necessarily to a person, just to a place that feels safe. "California, I'm coming home. Oh, will you take me as I am?" It's one of her most joyful songs, full of images of Paris, Spain, and Rome, but it's also about longing for authenticity, for roots. It also contains one of my favorite opening passages of all time, with "Sitting in a park in Paris, France, reading the news and it sure looks bad. They won't give peace a chance. That was just a dream some of us had." Yeah, that one really resonated with me, that line, because it's an ongoing dream that all of us still have, and all of us are still wanting to see come to light. Here's a sharp turn. This flight tonight is fast, urgent, and full of anxiety. She's on a plane, regretting leaving someone behind. She sings, "Turn this crazy bird around, I shouldn't have got on this flight tonight." It's about those impulsive choices we make in love, that instant regret that hits the second you've walked away. The band Nazareth would later cover this as a hard rock song, and somehow it works. I listened to it before recording this episode, but Joni's version has this jittery, emotional turbulence that feels much truer to the lyrics that she's written. Up next we have River, which might be the most famous track from Blue. Every Christmas you hear covers of it, but it's not really a Christmas song, even though it opens with the same notes from Jingle Bells. She sings, "It's coming on Christmas, they're cutting down trees, they're putting up reindeer and singing songs of joy and peace." But she's not feeling joy and peace. She's lost love, and she wants to escape. She sings, "I wish I had a river I could skate away on." That image, a frozen river as escape, is one of Joni's best metaphors. The piano mimics that sound of skating. Those downward runs feel like gliding on ice. It's heartbreak made into motion. If Blue has an anthem, this next song is it. A Case of You is love distilled. It's bittersweet, accepting, and eternal. She sings, "I could drink a case of you and still be on my feet." She's describing someone intoxicating. Maybe Graham Nash, maybe Leonard Cohen, but it doesn't really matter. It's about the way some people stay with you forever, even after they're gone. Her dulcimer playing here is mesmerizing. Every string seems to shimmer with some kind of memory. So the album ends not with resolution, but with reflection. With "The Last Time I Saw Richard." It's set in a dark cafe where she meets an old friend who's grown cynical. Richard got married to a figure skater, and he bought her a dishwasher and a coffee percolator. She's looking at him, and maybe herself, wondering if love always ends in compromise. But then the song turns quietly hopeful with the last line, "Only a dark cocoon before I get my gorgeous wings and fly away." That line closes Blue like a sigh. She's not healed, but she's evolving. It's an ending that feels like a beginning. So when Blue first dropped, it didn't top charts, but it slowly became one of the most influential albums in history. Artists from Bob Dylan to Taylor Swift has cited it as essential listening. Rolling Stone called it the ultimate album about the trials of love and womanhood. In 2019, Blue hit number 3 on their updated list of the 500 greatest albums of all time, and rightly so. What makes Blue endure isn't just the songwriting, it's the humanity. Every time you listen, you hear something new. a line that hits differently depending on where you are in your own life. If you're like me and you're in your mid-20s, it sounds like heartbreak. At 40, it could sound like wisdom. And at 70, it might sound like home. Joni once said, if you make a record that is true to yourself, it will be true to everyone. And I think Blue is proof of that. It's not an album trying to sell you anything. It's one woman telling the truth, and that's why it still cuts so deep. So if you haven't ever listened to Blue, or if you haven't listened in a while, do this. Put on some headphones, go find a quiet place, and let Blue wash all over you. You might cry, you might smile. Either way, I know that you're gonna definitely feel something real. And with that, we've reached the end of this episode of Rise Records, so thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to share it with a fellow Joni fan, and please let me know what your favourite song from the album is. I hope you'll join me again next week for a look inside Brian Wilson's eternal masterpiece, The Beach Boys' Pet Sounds. Until the needle drops again, have a great week everyone, and bye for now.